Why do you push people away, even when you want love? Yes, I'm talking today about avoidant dismissive attachment. Hi, champions. I'm Dr. Meghna Dikshit, author of You Matter, and I'm so excited to welcome you to our channel. Here we dive into the limitless potential of your mind and your brain. Together, we unlock the secrets to success, help you heal from the past, and prepare for an extraordinary future. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any tools and insights that I offer you on this channel. And for my committed subscribers, welcome back. Your journey to mastering your mind and living your best life continues here. Now, if you're ready to unleash your brain's potential, type dive in the chat box right now. Also, check out on the two links that are posted in the caption. First is to join my live seminar, learn how to train your brain and unlock your full potential. Second is to get my book You Matter from Amazon and start your personal growth journey with me today. Now, have you ever found yourself saying, I don't need anyone? Or walking away the moment someone gets too close, even when deep down you crave connection? You might seem independent, strong, and emotionally self sufficient. But behind that calm exterior, there's often a silent fear, the fear of being seen, known, or hurt. This is a world of the avoidant dismissive attachment style, a pattern that silently shapes your relationships, your sense of safety, and even your ability to receive love. Today, let's dive deep into what this attachment really means, why it forms, and most importantly, how you can begin to heal it and create emotionally secure, fulfilling connections. What is avoidant dismissive attachment? Attachment styles are the emotional blueprints we form in childhood. They determine how we give and receive love as adults. The avoidant dismissive style develops when, as a child, your emotional needs were not consistently met. Maybe you had caregivers who were loving but distant. Maybe they valued independence over vulnerability. Or maybe you were told, don't cry, be strong, handle it yourself. So, as a little child, you adapted. You learned that showing feelings didn't bring comfort and needing someone only brought disappointment. So, you built walls. You learned to rely only on yourself, and you convinced yourself, I'm fine on my own. This was not rebellion, it was self-protection. How does the inner world of the avoidant looks like? On the surface, people with avoidant dismissive attachment appear confident, independent, and calm under pressure. They are often successful, logical, and self-reliant. But beneath that, there is a deep emotional disconnection from others and from themselves. They struggle to trust. They struggle to depend. And the moment someone gets emotionally close, they feel suffocated. They will withdraw. They will distract themselves with work, hobbies, or solitude. They might even convince themselves that love is unnecessary or overrated. But the truth is, avoidants are not cold. They are just scared. Scared that if they let someone in, they will be rejected, criticized, or abandoned. They long for connection but fear the cost of it. Let's look at some common patterns that show up in adult relationships. One is emotional distancing. You might find it hard to express affection or talk about feelings. You prefer logic over emotion, even when your partner needs warmth. Second, fear of dependence. You resist relying on others and feel uncomfortable when others rely on you too much. Third, the perfect partner illusion. You often look for flaws in people, not because they are unworthy, but because it gives you a reason to stay emotionally safe. Fourth, pulling away after intimacy. After a deep conversation or a moment of closeness, you suddenly feel anxious or irritated. You try to deflect, you withdraw, not because you stopped caring, but because vulnerability feels unsafe. Fifth is self-soothing through solitude. When things get overwhelming, you retreat, physically, emotionally, mentally, to regain a self-control. The avoidant pattern is often invisible. You look composed, but inside you're disconnected. And this makes relationships confusing because people see strength, not fear. So, what can be the root of this attachment wound? Avoidant attachment often forms in childhood homes where emotional expression was discouraged or ignored. You might have been loved but not emotionally seen. For example, when you cried, your parents said, "Stop crying, you're fine." When you were scared, they said, "Be brave, be courageous." When you were hurt, they distracted you instead of comforting you. So your inner child learned emotions are weak, closeness is risky, love is not safe, and as adults, we repeat the same story. Shutting down, avoiding conflict, keeping things easy, even if it cost us connection. The root wound here is fear of emotional exposure. It's not that you don't want love, you just don't trust it. Healing avoidant dismissive attachment is not about forcing yourself to be emotional, it is about creating emotional safety. First within yourself and then with others. So let's go through the 5 healing steps for this attachment style. Step 1. Acknowledge the pattern without shame. Healing starts with awareness. Notice how you pull away when someone gets close. Notice how you feel when someone expresses emotion. And instead of judging yourself, simply say, "This is my old protection pattern showing up." You build this pattern for survival. Now you can build new ones for connection. Step number 2. Reconnect with your feelings. Avoidant often live in their heads, analyzing, rationalizing, staying in control. To heal, you must relearn the language of emotion. Start small. When you feel something, pause and ask, "What am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body?" You don't need to explain or fix it. Just be with it. Feel it. Yoga, breathwork, journaling, and body awareness practices can help you reconnect with sensations you have long numbed. Step number 3. Practice vulnerability in small doses. Don't jump into deep emotional exposure all at once. That will trigger resistance. Instead, share something small but honest. For example, instead of saying "I'm fine," try saying "I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed today." Each time you express a real feeling, you teach your nervous system that vulnerability is safe. This builds new emotional wiring. Step number 4. Build relationships with emotionally safe people. Healing a avoidant attachment requires safe connection with partners, friends, or mentors who respect your space, but also encourage gentle emotional openness. Choose people who don't chase you when you pull away, but also don't disappear completely. These balanced relationships act like emotional retraining grounds for your nervous system, showing you that closeness doesn't equal danger. Step 5. Inner child healing. At the core, the avoidant pattern comes from a little child who felt unseen, unheard, unsupported. Visualize that child. Imagine sitting beside them and saying, "You are safe now. You don't have to hide anymore. I will stay with you, even when you feel sad or scared." This self-reparenting creates the emotional safety that your caregivers couldn't give you. And over time, it melts the walls you built to survive. As you heal, something beautiful happens. You begin to realize that independence and intimacy can coexist. That needing someone doesn't make you weak. That being loved doesn't mean losing yourself. You learn to express your feelings without fear. You learn to receive love without guilt. And when you bring awareness, compassion, and consistency, you rewire your nervous system. You move from emotional avoidance to emotional availability. If this resonates with you, remember, your avoidance is not your identity. It's a protective pattern your heart created when it didn't feel safe. You don't need to fight it. You just need to love it into safety. So start small, feel a little more, trust a little more, and watch how love slowly but surely finds its way back to you. If this episode helped you understand yourself better, share it with someone who struggles to express emotions or connect deeply. And in the comments, tell me, what is one small step you will take today to build emotional safety? Remember, you're not hard to love. You just need to feel safe enough to receive it. Until then, next time.